In this episode, I will share the story of an American man being abducted in the Philippines. I will also remind you of why the Philippines is not paradise like most people would have you believe. American YouTuber Elliot Eastman has been reportedly been wounded and abducted from Cebu in the Philippines. He was fired upon and had his leg injured during trying to flee away. Local news sources said. Police reports that a group of men impersonating law enforcement officers forcibly entered his house in the island town and shot him in the leg before taking him away. Elliot Eastman is a relatively small YouTuber with 1,300 subscribers. He has been using the channel as a way to record his life, Cebu, as one of the only foreigners to have lived in the area for long after he married the love of his life, a native from the town. According to his Facebook profile, the 26-year-old currently living in the Philippines and hails from Hinsburg, Vermont. In his YouTube bio, Elliot explains how he came to the country and fell in love with a woman. He says, "Hello everyone, I'm Elliot Eastman. I'm 26 years old and I came to the Philippines about a year and a half ago where I met the love of my life deep in the mountains of Red Zone of the Philippines." He explained how he conducts live streams to illustrate the way of life in Cebu and the Filipino province of Zamboanga del Norte. Zamboanga, he says, del Norte is a recently developed area of the Philippines that was once only accessible by boat. I will be showing you my day-to-day life as the first and only foreigner to have ever lived here in Cebu for a long period of time. As per the New York Times, Elliot Eastman's father-in-law called in authorities and detailed how the kidnapping took place. As mentioned, the American YouTuber was residing in Cebu in the Philippines, where he had reportedly arrived in May 2024. In July, he got married to Carisha Jala Eastman, and the two had been living in the town at the time. As per Eastman's father-in-law, a group of men barged into his house under the guise of being police officers and tried to take him away. After the YouTuber resisted, he was shot in the leg with a rifle and the injury prevented him from struggling any further. The men then abducted Elliot Eastman and took him on a boat into the sea. Local authorities have announced that they are investigating the crime and pursuing the kidnappers. As mentioned, Eastman used his YouTube showcase the way of life in Cebu, Philippines. His last live stream from October 17th is still up on his channel. In the 20-minute long broadcast, Elliot can be seen eating something in his room in Cebu with the sound of rain pelting the roof of his house. Countless advisories on different countries' websites and foreign affairs websites, departments, online forums tell you not to visit certain parts of the Philippines specifically for these reasons. Before you tell me that you live in the south of the Philippines and nothing has ever happened to you, let me be clear. I am not comparing the Philippines to the United States. I am not telling you that it's the most dangerous place on earth. I am not telling you that bad things don't happen in other countries and only in the Philippines. And I am not telling you that every single foreigner visiting the Philippines will be abducted. But I am telling you this, that the Philippines is not just paradise, that it's not always perfect and safe like some other YouTubers would have you believe that travel down there who are Arab or black and think that everyone is going to be fine. Let me tell you something about the Filipino people. They are racist and prejudiced. When they see a black man, they think automatically he does not have any money. He is not a target. When they see a guy from the UK who is clearly Pakistani or Indian, they see him as brown with a beard. They see him as one of his brothers. This is straight up racism and prejudice from the Filipino people. So, as a Caucasian person, if you go down there, your chances of being abducted are clearly higher than those others previously before you. I am telling you this to try to debunk that the Philippines is 100% safe like some of these other YouTube channels will claim. Now we will dive into the commentary of some other people's thoughts regarding this story. Subscribe to the channel, click thumbs up so we can please the YouTube overlords, so we can spread the truth about this country. Gary on Facebook says, Many expat vloggers profess and advertise all areas in Mindanao are safe and okay. I call them lucky, while this abducted man is the reality of what can and will happen. Precisely, exactly what I said. Dan says, last week, people ridiculed me when I advised a mother inquiring about his 24-year-old son wanting to travel solo. I only stated that traveling alone is not safe. Always travel in groups if possible. Precisely, there are strengths in numbers. Bill says, ever wonder why the fences here are so high with broken bottles and barbed wire on top? Crazy if you are one of the guys getting around on Harley here. Craig also says, you can keep Mindanao and stick it where the sun don't shine. Nothing down there I can't see on 7,000 other islands in the Philippines. And yes, by the way, the Australian government has officially warned citizens not to travel to parts of southern Philippines, and if you do, don't expect any official aid or assistance. Many other countries have similar warnings for their citizens, as people down there are separatists or at least trying to be different from the Filipino country itself. There has been conflict in that region regarding religions and tribes for decades, if not centuries. It will be very difficult for you, a single white man, to think somehow you will change the way people perceive you. It does not matter how kind you are, how good you are, how much you try to help the community. You represent a way of life that these people don't want to have anything to do with. I don't care about the religion or about the history, anything like that. I only care about you. As an American, do not be fooled by other YouTubers. You have to protect yourself at all costs. Paul makes one of the most important comments about this person's situation and probably in this video. He says, if you check this guy's Facebook page, the 26-year-old went to get married and made several videos he posted within the last week of how he was making a big investment in a business there and expanding his wife's parents' house for them. Don't brag about money in the Philippines, especially on public posts, and more importantly, not in that part of Mindanao. How many times must I and other people tell you, do not disclose your finances in the Philippines, not to anyone. You will put a target on your back. This fool of a man went to the worst part of the Philippines, felt like a big shot, probably felt like a celebrity, probably received much more attention than he ever did in his entire life, and felt like a big man. He felt like someone that would be in a position of superstar or rock star status. So he felt his ego go higher and higher and started to feel like he's the big shit, talking about how much money he's made, and now this has what happened. Also, let's not forget that his wife may or may not have a part in this. I am not trying to accuse her of anything. However, it would not be out of the ordinary if someone else helps people locate you, and he being the only foreigner in that area will stick out like a sore thumb. Matthew says, very tragic, but I checked out one of his YouTube videos and something didn't seem right. He was talking about lending someone 20,000 pesos and then them bringing him back 23 pesos, making him a profit, then lending that same guy another 35,000 pesos, which he said will bring back more profit. In that area, loaning out and publicly stating things like that was definitely not in his best interest. Word travels fast. Exactly. Also, if someone is in need of money to borrow money, what would make you think they will return it with more money in which they first did not have? I don't understand. Unless you are a legitimate business lending to legitimate people or have some kind of collateral in place, then why would you ever get into that business, especially in a country known for money ending lives? I don't understand men like him. A 26-year-old should know much better by now. There's no point of blaming victims, but I want to be clear, he should have known better, and you should know better as well before you start to talk to some women in that region. Why do you think women in that region are desperate? Because they have less options. Keep that in mind. Let me know your opinions about this man's abduction. What are your thoughts regarding this matter? would you still consider the Philippines a safe country? Would you go down there knowing everything that we know now? Or do you think it's time that we actually start talking about the truth and the facts of this country? If you want to spread the truth, subscribe and click thumbs up button so we can please the YouTube overlords. Let's take a look at yesterday's best and worst comments. The best comment is from G4M3R. These days, I'm talking to Indonesian girls. They seem to have much better personalities and their English are good enough too. They usually look better, not like mashed potatoes. I really admire all these expats that are willing to sacrifice a normal life for a Filipina to live in such backward place. Like realistically, people usually leave their home country to live a better life. In the Pinoy land, it's quite a challenge. It's like paying premium for third world country. This is true. If you want a genuine relationship, one that is filled with true connection and more than just a quick lay, then Indonesians are by far a better. The reason why most men don't consider Indonesia, number one, is because it's an Islamic country. They automatically have a feeling it's more difficult to take them home, which is true. But if you're going to P for P anyways, why not include some higher class women from neighboring countries like Vietnam, Japan, and Korea? Because at the end of the day, I promise you, you'll end up spending more in the Pinoy land and getting a lot less from what you paid for. The worst comment from yesterday's video is from Leslie. White women in America play the same game. Yes, this is one thing I want to clarify as often as I can moving forward. I have never claimed that the Philippines is the only country with these problems. The aim for these videos and this channel is to showcase both sides of this country. Let the other 90% channels talk only positive for views and allow me to talk about some of the pitfalls and downsides and dark sides of this country. Thanks for watching. God bless.